All right, the local real estate market is booming right now, and while it may be tempting to sell your own home, there's definitely some risk versus reward. So David Nygaard from David Nygaard Properties is here with us with some expert advice before you plant that for sale by owner sign in your front yard. Y'all need to listen to this. So we have some real talk that's coming up today. So we want to talk about this, David. So welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back.
It's been busy.
Yes,
real estate's busy right now, and I know some people think they can make more money by selling a home themselves, right?
Well, I think what they think is they can save money by selling it on their own.
Yeah.
And so I've got a report, 10 tips. We're going to talk about 5 today, but if you want the full report, just come to my website and or call, and we'll be glad to send it to you.
Awesome. We'll talk about where you can get them at the end, so you can get all of them. But first, let's talk about price. How do you price it correctly?
Well, one of the key things you've got to do is make sure you know exactly what the neighbors have sold their houses for. And sometimes you've got to go to the public records. You may have to make a trip down to the courthouse and really find out what the actual price was, not just rumor and innuendo. But find out what but find out what the real price of sale was, and then also maybe find out some of the details of those contracts. Because the key in pricing is to make sure you're within the market, but you also need to price it so that you don't short yourself, get yourself, and that's one of the problems when you sell it by yourself, is sometimes you leave money on the table.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. We don't want to waste any of that money. So the second one is how to prepare your home for sale. We're emotionally attached to our own homes, right? That doesn't work well when you're trying to sell it.
No, so sometimes you might need a second opinion to come in and just look at the little things that you can do on your own to improve the property. Maybe it's changing a light fixture, maybe it's changing the doorknobs, maybe little things like that can make a big difference in terms of how you market the house, how quickly it'll sell, and how much you can get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, staging it is definitely a big thing.
Staging it and just minor repairs. So maybe a small repair in one area can net a lot more money at the end.
Yeah, and experts do know that information. And the other one is legal documents. So, I mean, you're selling this home. I mean, you have to legally cover yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, that's dangerous.
That is a big issue, is to make sure that you have all the disclosures. So, you know, when you're selling a home, you've got to have the lead paint disclosure. You've got, if you're selling it near one of the naval bases here, or the Air Force, you need to make sure that you've got the disclosures on the noise, crash zones, but there's a whole host of other things that need to be prepared in order to sell the house, and you need to disclose those before you have a contract. And let's just talk about the legal documents. You need to make sure you have a contract that you can use, that you can fill out. You need to make sure, and a lot of times you're working with somebody who also doesn't have an agent, so you need to make sure that you know kind of where they're coming from, and you prepare everything in advance for them. You want to have a mortgage document, perhaps. There's some other legal documents, but that's a big area you really need to be prepared for.
Yeah, it is for sure. And then this one is a big one too, because we're talking about documents in the legal portion, pre-qualifying people, because you can't just, you're going to be like, I sold my house, it's sold, and all of a sudden this person, you know, they can't buy it,
and they can't come to the table. Or here's the other problem. You know, here we have COVID, and you're having an open house, and you have all these people showing up through your house. You know, all the looky-loos, we call them, right? But how many of them have COVID? How many of them have been exposed? And they're not even qualified to buy your house. So don't have people into your house that aren't qualified and aren't pre-qualified. And so what we make sure, make sure you get a letter of pre-qualification before they come waltzing through your house.
Yeah, and then the true cost of doing it by yourself. I mean, does it really save you that much money?
Well, that's the point, is that if you've got a good agent is not going to leave money on the table. And one of the challenges is in this market, you think, oh, I can sell my house, it's going to sell really quickly, and it probably will, but you may be underselling it. You may not be getting the full value out of that property. And maybe you want to do it quickly and you can save the money, but sometimes saving the money in the short run, you're shorting yourself in the end. And what you don't want to do is sell it for a price that then you end up not getting enough out of the house, whether it's to pay off the loan, whether it's to pay off some of the other closing expenses.
You don't leave the money out there at all. I mean, it's just leaving you high and dry in a sense. I mean, you miss out on a lot.
And you don't want to have to bring a check to the table when you're selling your house. And that sometimes can happen with for sale by owners. And so you really just need to be prepared and don't
leave that money. Where can they find you? Give us your information real quick.
David Nygaard Properties. Please see me on my website. You can call me at 757-333-4033. In fact, right after the last couple shows, we've had some calls and happy to take those. So, yes.
Well, David's our guy, so you guys go ahead and use that number right there below. And thank you so much, David. We always
it's great to see
your
you.
help.
Absolutely.
And I know people at home do too, so thank you so much.
Thank you.